A small town is the backbone of America. You take every small town, it just strings right from East Coast to West Coast. And it's like the backbone of the whole country.
We don't have the fear, we don't have the crime. Other communities can't say that. This is a great place to live.
I don't think that the world out there gets much of a beat on what's going on in these streets and on these porches and between these people. And sometimes I think that's a shame.
Hi, I'm Stuart Newell, and this is my wife, May, and we're owners of O'Brien's Market in Dadetown, New York, and we just want to welcome you to...
Dadetown?
Okay.
Now, we always had a problem with animals wandering into town. And there was a time when this bear, I mean a huge bear, he just wandered into town, and he decided to stay.
Yeah. Eating garbage and running around the park.
What an event. You couldn't believe it. The kids were terrified.
Yeah.
But they kept saying, I want to see the bear, I want to see the bear. But then, Mayor Tate comes back from his long vacation. He finds out there's a bear in his building. So what does he do? It's like a reflex. He grabs his gun, runs upstairs, and shoots the bear dead in its sleep. Oh, God, everybody was sick. Especially after he started talking to the local papers.
By the next election, he was gone.
Yeah.
The bear never left town. He's still there. He's outside the mayor's office, waiting to see if Tate ever shows up again. We still love him. He's hanging out there. And he's become a symbol in our town.
Yeah.
Symbol of what?
Oh, I think of independence, you know. I mean, that's what we really, I think we all feel that way, you know. The bear could wander around town when no one would mess with him. I think we all have a little of that spirit in us.
What was the name of that old TV show? There are a million stories in the Naked City. This is but City. One. Yeah, the Naked City. Well, the point I wanted to make is that we may not be a big metropolis, but there are a million stories here too, but no one ever asked.
I go to my grandparents' house, and first thing, walk in the door. All you hear about is the factories where they build the airplanes, and when I was in school, how I had to walk 5 miles in snow barefoot. It's like, yeah, right.
Well, they sit back and kind of put their leg over the other one and talk about World War II mostly.
History in every century.
Gorman Metal Bending Facility was awarded a contract by the Army Air Corps in 1942 to construct the fuselages for the B-17 and B-43 bombing aircraft.
We had contracts coming in from all over. We were making assemblies and sub-assemblies for Boeing and Fairchild and Grumman. We were making wing assemblies and tail assemblies and ailerons for all sorts of planes, B-17s, PBYs, P-38s, all sorts of them. The atmosphere was good. I mean, there were, everybody was employed. We had to hire people all the way from Hadley Lake and Irving.
I was a kid then, and my father was working here, and there was many times he'd run off in the morning and forget his lunch, and I'd come over here with a pail for him, and the place was a beehive of activity. And there was this sense of we're doing something to try to protect our country. The workers worked until they dropped sometimes.
It was heady days, really. And it was a wonderful time, discounting the tragedy, of course, of what was going over. But here, It was a wonderful time to see everyone so unified, so determined that we were going to win. Of course, in those days, we always knew we were going to win. We and Superman never lost.
Things change, of course, sometimes, but we're still doing an important job here. Of course, it is a bit different, you know, taking a look at some of our products today, which are very small metal products. Compare that to looking up and see an airplane fly over that we built the fuselage to.
You know, it was different before when we made airplane parts at the plant because everybody knew about whose plane it was. But if you walk down a road and pick up a paper clip, you're not going to know at all who made this, or if indeed it were even made in this country.
Well, I would say there's every bit as much pride. Of course, there are always the people that are here for Thursday, and that's their payday. That's the only reason that they're here.
How much pride can you have about making a staple?
That's right. The only thing that's good about it now is you bring home a paycheck.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all.
Yeah, we don't even think about that anymore.
And you get your holidays and your vacation. And you just feed your family and just hope for the best. But as far as the work is concerned, the old is gone.
This is the field everyone came to celebrate the end of World War II. We had tents and rolled the bombers and fighters down that hill. During the 50s, the factory had Family Day. Everybody had a good time, especially the kids. We played sack games and played hide and seek, and we just enjoyed ourselves tremendously. Now API owns all this, and they're going to build homes, and they won't know what the story is about Dadetown. Don't forget, Dadetown is 150 years old, and API is destroying the memory of that town.
If you'd asked me 10 years ago what API would look like, I would have been way out of the ballpark. I wouldn't have had even an inkling of what we are today, but we've been very fortunate that we've made some decisions to do certain things in advance of when the technology hit, and we happened to be there. And we started very small, and to be where we are today is just mind-boggling to all of us. We're a corporation for the 21st century.
Well, whenever you move into a community, and it doesn't matter whether it's Dadetown or any town USA, there's going to be an impact on the community. We recognize that. So I'm sure that there are people that were very happy to see us, maybe people that were a little skeptical, a little hesitant. But for the most part, I say that the transition in moving here and the way the town has embraced us has been very, 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 very good.
Sure, they're part of the town. I mean, they're good people. They haven't made that much, the API people, the families that themselves haven't made that much of an effort, I don't think, to really become part of the community yet, but that might take time. But the company itself has been very generous, and you know, sure, they're part of the town. I mean, they're good people.
Well, you know, API, I understand, is an important part of the town now, and there's nothing wrong with the way, you know, they do their business. And mind you, I don't know exactly what they do as yet.
Do you guys know what API stands for? I mean, do you have any idea what it means?
Well, we've got some conjectures. Associated Prevaricators Incorporated?
Alien persons invade?
Area Pillaging Institute. No, what does it stand for?
API stands for American Peripheral Imaging.
Oh, okay. Sounds like our kids are better have good educations if they're going to get jobs there.
What are they imaging?
Well, that's the new technology, dear.
Right, but I'm, you know, their image of what we're living, what we're doing.
We're a communications company, and we specialize in the transmission of scientific and commercial data through both traditional and non-traditional means.
I know they work with satellites and they transmit images. A lot of different industries, I think. I know they do a lot with the medical industry, right? Like if you're going to have cosmetic surgery, you can see a new nose before you get it. I mean, they do computer imaging. I don't think I'm doing justice to exactly the breadth of what they do. They do a lot of different things, so I kind of know, but it's hard to put into words. And complicated stuff, high tech.
Well, API came here looking for something we had. We had space, we had low tax rate. Also, they were bringing their families with them, their children. They were looking for a place where the kids could grow up safe and with a sense of humanity.
I'm from a small town in Cape Cod called Chatham. Reminds me a lot of Dadetown. The little shops in Dadetown remind me a lot of Chatham. And the people are really nice. I'm hoping for the same experience for him as how I grew up. I'm hoping he'll grow up in the same way.
We have a term we apply to this, it's called tactical isolated relocation. This simply means that we have taken and combined all of our operations under one roof. We have closed offices in major metropolitan areas. We had offices in Buffalo, Philadelphia, and Manhattan. And we are continually moving people from those offices as we get up and running in Dadetown.
We don't really let them watch any of the new cartoons anymore. They're just too commercially oriented. So we just watch the good stuff with them.
API put in all these satellites, and I get 140 stations. Now, I work with data compression and refresh rates and stuff like that all day long, so I know you won't pick this up, but we're getting like 140 stations.
I get the science fiction channel.
Yes, it's great.
We're coming up on our shearing area. This shear on the left is our 150-ton Cincinnati. We've had that since the mid-1950s. Got very heavy material there. You'll notice the operator's using a pneumatic lift.
This is a fulcrum fireplace that heats the living room, dining room, and the kitchen area.
Beautiful view from every angle. Here's our 2001 A Space Kitchen.
We were allowed to pick custom design everything in this kitchen.
I
so
lost my argument on the natural oak finish.
We're very pleased with the results.
Passing under an air makeup unit, you felt the breeze there. Now on your right is a gas welding station.
This is our pleasure cove.
That's great. Candlesticks for romance here.
Plenty of space. Tub big enough for two.
We had something about half this size with one jet, which is before in our apartment, which is about enough to give you a hell of an inch. Now this has 5 jets and it's solid.
The next area that we're coming up is a heat treating area. And on the other side is our punch presses, some spot welding, and a fabricator machine.
The problem we have right now with this room is it's so big, we don't know what to do with it.
Bigger than a whole apartment.
We're probably going to put white carpeting down just to keep it bright and use the furniture we have from our old apartment. TV, so it'll be a nice lounge area. And I would actually like to put in some neon signs. A friend of mine has some, and I just think they're kind of fun and playful. And Dan, of course, would like to install an indoor waterfall, but I think that's going to be a disaster.
Why?
It's going to flood or leak, or someone's going to fall in and drown or get electrocuted.
It's going to come down from upstairs, right down through here, and come down into a nice fish bowl here.
Well, I've got deep roots here at Gorman. I mean, my grandfather and my father both worked at Gorman, so I think it's kind of a traditional thing, and for me personally, and it's all my friends are here. You know, it's been a long time. It's been the life here.
We've lived in apartments since 1983. And, I don't know, to have your own home, it's gives you a sense of family. I don't know how else to put it. It sounds like something my mother would say. My mother, she always told me, you get married, you have kids, you own your own home.
I think there's a certain amount of security and stability that we've been looking for.
I got a call not too long ago from an API wife. She was quite hysterical, saying that there's this old man on my front lawn with a can of paint. And I said, is he painting your fence? And she said, yes. A dark green, like it was criminally insane or something.
Oh, yeah, that's old Tom Dooley. Tom must be about 80 years old by now. He was an old-time handyman. He could fix anything these days, but not anymore. Now he just kind of wanders around town, doesn't say much. Old Tom will paint most anything.
Well, her husband repainted the fence, and it was only a matter of time before Tom Dooley came back, and it was dark green again. That's our Tom Dooley.
We've just always called him Tom Dooley. I don't think his own family even knows what his real name is.
I had this idea that the small town culture was what I wanted.
Small.
And yeah, it's a little smaller than I anticipated, I guess.
We knew what we were getting into before we came here, and we knew basically what was here when we showed up. And I think what the town has to offer is more than enough for us right now.
I've always wanted to be mayor ever since I was a little boy. I can still remember when some of my friends would go fishing or say, hey, you want to play baseball or you want to do this? There was a group of us that would say no, and we would just play City Hall. And in that game, I would always assume the role as mayor. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I'd like to welcome you all here this afternoon, and many thanks up front to the people who have helped make this afternoon possible. API's arrival here some 2.5 years ago has brought a company whose philosophy has been to show a continued and genuine interest in our town. The members of the family board and our own town council, led by my friend Councilman Bill Parsons and Bess Gluckman, have cultivated a wonderful relationship over these past several months.
I think there's a problem. You bet. Edward Savoca. Do you know who he was? Edward Savoca was a famous computer programmer who just died in a drug-related accident, and we've dedicated a playground to him.
Today we're here for the christening of our new Edward Savoca Playground. This was made possible by API.
Did you see the new playground? We built that. That was one of our projects. Actually, we're going to be doing an ice skating pond over on Sheether Road for this winter. API's Family Board actually is the only community betterment organization that this town has, believe it or not. But we just feel like we're just making it a better place to live for our kids.
They come in, they build this project, and it's releasing them to make other changes in the communities.
It's satisfy us. I don't find it very satisfactory, but I haven't been on a swing in a few years, so.
I think I can speak for Mayor Stolzen, Councilman Parsons and Gluckman, and all the people involved in this project when I say that it's our sincerest hope that this be the beginning of a long future together. That here in this park, our children will think of each other as neighbors, not from two different parts of town, not children whose parents work for different companies, not children who go to different schools, but children who are neighbors and friends.
Thank you.
It can be construed as a PR move by some, obviously, but Gorman has been here for such a long time, and I'm sure that through the years they have brought quite a number of changes and different buildings and things along that line to this particular community, and they could be construed as a PR move for them as well.
Yes, and what's wrong with public relations? We're all into public relations, aren't we? I'm into public relations. Sure, that's fine. Put your best foot forward.
We would like to invite Ethan Foley, poker player extraordinaire and Dadetown's oldest living citizen, to help us in the ribbon cutting today. Ethan, would you come up here and help us, please?
You want us to sit now? Yep, I'm going to do this on the count of 3, okay?
Oh, make sure they work.
You want us to cut? Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wait. Can we do it again?
All right, let's do it again, okay? Can we tape this up and we'll do this again? Okay, let's do this again now on the count of 3. Ready? Try it once again. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, it's not that the town wasn't pleasant before we came here, but it's like we all have this image in our minds of the kinds of towns that we grew up in, and we just feel like this is our way of personalizing the town. I mean, we feel like we're adding to date all of our memories from our childhood, and we have the means to do it.
Any enhancements that our company might make to the town will be made for the better of the community. We would like to, obviously we're living in the 90s, and we would like to see the community evolve that way.
I think that most people like the town the way it is, and at least on the surface adhere to all of the ideals that we think are typical of a small town in America.
Well, I wish they had a Kentucky Fried Chicken here, and I'd like to have a movie theater because the nearest one's really far away, about maybe an hour and a half or an hour, and it seems like a long time to get there, and so we don't go there very much.
More excitement. Maybe API will bring that, though. I mean, with new electronics and stuff.
Yeah?
You never know.
Maybe they even bring enough to build a new theater here. So instead of having to go over, maybe something you like. A night spot.
A nice daycare center would be good. And I'd like to see the women of Dadetown become a little bit more independent. And I guess I'm not really sure where I'm going with that.
Oh, I think, besides like just some nice, dress shops, I think we definitely need, a 24-hour family restaurant. There are lots of places to sit down, but they usually close about 8 in the evening.
Fast food,
so,
too.
Yeah.
Restaurant, like McDonald's or Burger King.
Perkins, something around here.
Maybe a Pizza Hut. I do miss that.
Oh, bagels, good bagels. That would be really nice.
It's like they think we don't fit in, It's really
what
weird.
gets me is that they wear these suits. They wear suits. Nobody around here wears a suit. I haven't seen a guy in a suit in a year.
Yeah.
Boy.
Nothing can spook a deer faster.
I think that the area needs some injection of change, a little stimulation. Hopefully we'll find it with these people, and it'll be good for the community and the people that live here and work there for certain, hopefully.
I think the community is absolutely fine the way that it is.
There's always going to be pockets. There's always going to be elements. There's always going to be cliques, if you'll allow me to use that term. But you're going to find that in any community. And again, time will be the thing that will bring us together.
Cordial, on the most part, to warmer to cooler shades of cordial. Everyone's been pleasant. But you can tell some people are more wary and some people are more welcoming.
Well, they're an entirely different type of group, you know, and actually we don't associate much with them as a general rule.
They're not bad people, but they're just trying to push their way a little bit, you know, because they don't really fit into, you know, the neighborhood, you know.
They seem so temporary, you know.
Yeah.
We are outsiders. It takes time to become insiders.
But we don't have to stay outsiders.
Well, it's going to take time to integrate the two communities. There's no question, and I don't blame them for feeling cautious or wary or just wanting to know where we're coming from, where are we going? Are we going to take over their whole town?
Well, I hope that we have some input in as far as that aspect goes. If it's anything environmental, I mean, we should have a say. We do live here. And,
We haven't yet.
You should at least give them a chance.
Well, yes, that's true, but it doesn't seem that they want to integrate within the community. I mean, they've been here a while. They haven't been here a week.
I think we're very aware that we are moving in on their space, but we're not planning any mixers. I mean, we're not, you know, Pilgrims and Indians. That's not what's happening here. But, you know, we do respect their space, but, you know, it's ours now, too. But they're nice people. They've been very hospitable to all of us.
You know, we're nice people. I'm not worried about
Yes,
what we're
we're
going to
very
do.
nice people.
You know, we're not planning to raise the town or anything, so.
And we've raised the tax base considerably.
People around here are happy with the way things are. They are, and it's hard to give up. It's, you know, I always think of, you ever go to camp and you were there the year before and you had it set up the way you liked it, and, you know, you had sort of gotten the counselors around the way to behaving the way you wanted them to, and now, you know, this new group of kids comes in and you don't want them in your camp. And it's more complicated than that, too.
Still, I think most people, when they really assess the situation and see all the advantages, see these people who want to live in Daytown, who chose to come here, who are going to contribute here, I think it'll work out fine.
And that cappuccino shop, or whatever you call it over there, is that's ridiculous.
Doesn't have a sign on it that says you can't go in there.
It might as well, because that's the only people in it. Okay? They're the only people in it, and you know
You'd rather
it.
have a hard cider shop someplace?
Hey, listen, if you don't like the town the way
I
it
like
is,
the community. I picked it. It was my choice to be here.
You're
living here. Can you get out of the community?
What have you done for this community?
What
Name
have
one
I
thing.
done? I
Yes.
work here. I put my money into this community. I give to this community.
What
have you done?
What did you? No, I'm asking you first. What did you give to this
What
community?
did I give to this community?
Yeah,
I've been involved in the playground project. You like the playground?
Oh yeah, I love the playground.
I put $200 of my own money in that project.
The playground is for your people, not the
No,
village
the playground's
people.
for everybody.
I'm talking to your father, okay?
The playground is for everybody. You don't use it, I can see that.
You're not even listening to a word I say. I'm sorry. But
You're
you
not concerned about what's going on
If
here.
you don't like this place, why don't you leave it? You know, you can do
I
that
like
simple.
this place. I came here by choice.
Yeah, but then why are you improving? You say
Communities either grow or they die.
Back where you came from.
It's
That's
supply
simple
and
as that.
demand. Business demands
No,
what
we're
you get
talking
out
to
of
you.
it.
I'm
That's how we got the cappuccino
You're not even
shop.
listening. I'm sorry. Stop.
Pride, like love, patriotism, are good things, but can be carried too far. I think we always have to realize where the limit is on pride. Certainly, it would be a sad town without any pride, wouldn't it? In our hearts, we know this is the best town and the best state in the Union. So pride is very positive, but we have to be careful and not carry it too far.
Spend a few days here and then look at the evening news every night and see, I mean, the frenzy and the pace and the violence and how impersonal it is. I mean, the way people live, they accept, I mean, I've been to the cities and, I mean, they do have a function too, but I mean, getting in like sardines in a little train that goes underneath the ground and being there like that, that's not natural.
And there's another thing, we don't have to worry about where we're going to go. We know where we are. We're here, and we know where we work, and everything is solid. It's really terrific. And they don't have that in the rest of America. There's problems all over the place. But here...
Yeah, it's not like L.A.
Oh.
You know, I think it's pretty obvious that we've always been self-contained. You know, we have a stable economy, and we've gone on for 100 years or more, and we could go on for another couple hundred, and we wouldn't burden the rest of the country one bit.
On the whole, we've been here a long time, and as long as there's a need for these small metal products that we're good at bending, then why shouldn't we be here?
They are a metal bending company specializing in staples and paper clips. And their area is dependent upon the usage of paper. Well, here we are, a company that is in a business that's going to eliminate the use of paper. So here we are side by side in the same community, and I think the future will be very interesting for both of us.
I mean, I think it symbolizes, in a way, the Norman Rockwell town like you're talking about, but it's not representative of what's going on in America today. It's,
except that the people here sort of think that it is. That's the odd part about it. It's as though they think this is the all-American town, and you see a lot of the small towns around the all-American town, and it's maybe the concept that we had for ourselves in the 50s, but it's nowhere close to where we are now.
I don't think people change basically, certainly not in 50 years. We're just not challenged, and God forbid we would be. To have something like Pearl Harbor and 6 months of losing, which we had before we could turn it around. But yes, I have great faith in our people. I think they would respond just as we did then.
It was so easy to love him. You know, he would just do anything for anybody, but he didn't expect anything in return. But I've been hearing things all day, and how much he means to people, how they'll miss him. I mean, maybe they're just saying that. Maybe that gets said about anyone who dies.
It's funny, I don't think we know a lot about Bill as much as we know about what Bill knew about us, but I guess I'll say that, and I'll say he served this town well for 30 some odd years, and we'll miss him, and I'll do my best to put in some kind of words what he meant to us.
That would be easy?
No. No.
I just wish this wasn't riding on the heels of such a sad occasion. Obviously, no one could replace Bill. The best we can do is try to continue his good work, you know, to continue what he's already accomplished. I guess that's all I can promise, you know, continuity. And just to say how flattered I am to be officially running for the vacant council position.
I'll drink to that.
Yay. Good job. Congratulations.
Very good. I'm real happy.
They have no natural enemies left. So if you didn't shoot a certain number every year, you'd have mass starvation.
Especially this year.
Yeah, boy, they'd be eating all the crops, they'd be eating the vegetation off the trees, all the bird food. You'd be squashing them left and right on the roads. You gotta hunt them, it's a balance of nature.
Yeah.
Oh, the best thing I ever got was an 8-pointer. 8-point book out by Highway 54.
You got one too?
Right near there.
You got one too.
No, I got one. I'm not kidding. I got one when I was 16.
In your dreams, you got one.
First day of hunting season. That's pretty good, huh?
I'm sorry, is there just questions?
I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you.
Is there no way you can factory floor if that's possible?
I have no authority to let you get on the floor. You have to leave. I don't know how you pass security. You must leave. And if you don't leave, I'm going to have to call them right now.
Is there, how do you feel about the layoffs?
I'm sorry, I can't give you my opinion about anything. Please leave. Thank you.
Did he have an appointment to speak with you? I didn't think he did.
No, I'm sorry. We just wanted to ask him a couple questions regarding what's going on at Gorman and the
Well,
layoffs and so
you're going to have to ask somebody else because you can't just come in here and expect to talk directly to the mayor. Am I right? I mean, you don't have that authority.
Well, 150 of our men got let go. They came from a bunch of different areas in the company. There was floor supervisors, back-end managers, transportation coordinators, sales specialists, assistant mechanics.
Look, why don't you just tell them the truth about what happened? You went upstairs, you talked to those guys. What did you tell? Why don't you tell them what happened up there?
I've been telling them what's happening. That's what's happening.
That's not what's happening. Nobody wants to tell us the truth.
We're like
Nobody.
any other business around here. Either we're doing well and making profits and things are growing, or it turns the other way and we start letting people go. And
Oh
that's
man,
what's
this
happening.
is just a bunch of crap. We were buddies together. We were buddies on the line. This guy got promoted. This guy talks to management all the time, and he's supposed to come back to us and tell us what's going on.
I'm just a foreman around.
Oh, that's a bunch of shit.
Well, then you tell me what I am. Then what am I?
I'll tell you what you are. You're somebody who's supposed to tell us what the truth is. You're somebody who's supposed to come up from management, protect as many jobs as you can, because you're one of us. But you're not.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm no different than the rest of you guys. If your job is in danger, my job is in danger.
If you're not different than us, how come you're the foreman and I'm not the foreman?
I'm just a manager around here, and these are my men, and I'm responsible for them.
That's just ridiculous. That's full of shit.
And they always thought that I was a pain in the ass because I got too high on the ladder and was too pushy, and I got promoted and they didn't. Another example of how do I think they felt about me? I never did anything to try to hurt them. All I ever did was to try to help everybody. And all they kind of ever thought was, well, here's another pain in the ass. He's going to rise up the ladder higher than me. Big deal. I didn't want to be higher than them. I think they had a strange reaction when they found out, hey, David, he's getting laid off too. Wow, this is freaking out. Maybe we were wrong about this son of a bitch all these years being a pain in the ass. He doesn't have a job either.
I don't understand economics or macroeconomics, but I understand that Gorman's always made a profit. Middle management probably will find it easier to secure a job, but where are the workers gonna go?
Well, what it is you're looking at the direct result of some very dumb planning. I mean, some of these people have worked here 15, 20 years. You know, how would they let go? Who told them this? This is ridiculous. You know, losing your job is one of the worst things that can happen to anybody. I mean, it devastates the individual, his family, the entire community. If you were to look at what happened in LA last year, a couple of years ago, that has as much to do with unemployment as with the cops, as with race relations, anything. I mean, I have a wife, and I have a 5-year-old boy. I know these people are hurt now. I don't know what I would do if I had the fear that I couldn't provide for them.
Yeah, they are pretty bad. But, God, for God's sakes, you know, let's get our priorities straight here. We're not the first town that's lost jobs here. Nobody said a word when we lost the airplane contracts and had to start banging out staples. You know, you need to go up and talk to the factory workers in Syracuse and see if they get all fussed up about our losing 150 jobs when Smith Corona lost 1,000 jobs last year.
I don't know why they laid the people off. Guess I just didn't need them anymore. I don't know. I don't pay any attention to that stuff. I just run the presses. I'm not middle management or anything, you know? I just run the presses and, you know, I'm a happy man. Very happy man. Just do my job, go home, get paid.
Projectionism. Let me project my problem onto the whole freaking country here. Just like when they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't listen to the energy audit. They wouldn't listen to you could save money. They wouldn't listen to the guys in the factory who are willing to freaking maybe reduce your wages or whatever. And then all of a sudden, since they never listened to you, let's project the problem onto the employees. It's all their problem. They're always asking for too much freaking money. They're always bitching about freaking something else. They always want their brother to get a job in the freaking factory. You know, it reads like the plot in an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Who's doing what to who? Who's the next one to provide a clue as to what's going to happen? Everybody's in the dark about everything.
Well, I'm gonna lose some friends. There's gonna be people moving out of Dadetown. I don't know where they're gonna go, but API isn't gonna hire them.
I don't know where the hell to go. It's like getting a divorce. Nothing to, I don't know. It's confusing. You try to find the lightheartedness in it, you know, have a couple of cocktails here and there, talk to people, what are they gonna do? One guy thinks he can make money off the new API guys opening a hunting lodge that's ritzy and up on the hill outside of town, and he'll make money and everything, you know, because people get confused. All of a sudden they don't know what to do. They come up with any angle to try to maybe stay here, you know, buy the grocery store or something and do something that they can do to stay here, because there's a lot of people that they sure as hell don't want to leave. They don't want to go anywhere. America.
It appears some kids may have acted out a little bit. It's probably just some kids. Most of our young people pretty well behaved, but saw a couple of beer cans down there. I don't know if maybe they got into some beer. It's not typical of Dadetown.
You don't think it's an act against API?
Oh no, no. I'm sure it has nothing to do with those people.
The API Family Board put a great deal of time and money into building this playground for all of our children, and now some local teen has got to go and ruin it for all of us?
I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm just on my way to school and I get all this shit. I mean, it's not like I know who did it. And no one even uses this place anyway, so. It's just like this to happen, you know. People think that it's us, because we're always the cause of the problem. You know, I can understand why they're upset. It's trashed. Just the way it happens.
The playground yesterday. Messy.
It's a shame it occurred, but small towns have little problems too. And I think it's just a little problem.
This is incredible. I just can't believe they just did this.
I mean, has this happened in Dadetown before?
I don't know what the problems are. I have no idea, but they're just going around town like wild men.
They sure got this one good.
Obviously, a situation like this could not be anticipated. Most of the things that have occurred have been a direct result of the layoffs that have happened at Gorman, though.
Why have they blamed API?
If API wasn't here, they would find somebody else to blame, whether it be the mayor or whomever. We probably just happen to be a very accessible group to blame.
Would you consider yourself a target?
Excuse me?
Would you consider yourself a target?
I don't believe we are. We hope not. Again, this is just something that has occurred, a small group of people doing it, and certainly we cannot anticipate anything like this happening in the future.
I feel sorry for them. If I were in their shoes, I mean, where do you go? I have no company behind them. But, you know, I have a lot of respect for them. I used to be out in the street every day busting my balls, trying to make enough to have dinner, you know?
I'm fucked. Look, I can name you 17 guys right now. You can go down there with your cameras right now by the roadside. They're all looking for a job, man. This thing's getting way out of hand. I can tell you that a guy took $200,000 from the office, from the pension fund, to go down to Bermuda, okay? I work for a living. My wife plants broccoli back home, all right? You go to the store, you buy broccoli for $1, right? Right, they want to lay people off, let them lay people off. But I can tell you some shit about this town.
So you think right now you're living the American dream?
Is that what this is about?
Sergeant?
Well, I guess it is that. That's the dream, all right, but you know, it's just as American to be pissed off when you're out of work. No, come on, I'm not going to make any excuses for those guys who are pouring paint. They're assholes, they're children. But I tell anybody, you have to give people the right to be pissed off.
You know, I work 10-hour days, and management, they go home, they got time to mow their fucking lawns. They got all the time in the world, you know?
We talk to management, they keep saying that the whole layoffs are about downsizing.
Yeah, you talk to management.
About getting people off.
You talk to management, and then you're talking to us. Why are you talking to us then, you know? You talk to them, then you talk to us. What do you think, we're children? No, you guys got some nerve coming around here.
No, we're just talking to you because we
No, listen to me. No, because you're giving us this shit, and you're giving us that shit, and that's about it, you know? You know, I could call Gorman up right now, and he'll come down and shut your ass down right now. What are you filming me for? Turn that camera off. Turn that fucking camera off.
Look, can you tell me what happened at the plant the day of the layoffs?
Day of the layoffs? What happened?
Hey, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? What do you guys think? Who the fuck do you guys think you are coming around here?
It's okay, man.
Turn that no, fuck you, man.
It's okay,
what do you think you're doing, putting us on TV? Yeah, turn that fucking camera off, man. Fuck you guys. Fuck you.
We've already contacted Gorman and asked for copies of resumes to be forwarded to us, and if we can find jobs within our facility, we'll be more than happy to do that. Obviously, if we can do that, that's going to help the community, and that's what we're all about.
That's bullshit. I work here. My mother worked here. Is that why it's our town? We worked here?
I can talk to them, but I don't think it'll make it.
Have you talked to Bess?
No, I haven't talked to Bess.
Bess is giving him the green light. She's giving him everything.
I don't know what your point is. What are you saying?
Bess gave API zoning rights when she shouldn't have.
Then I'm just talking about the rules. Regulations. API and zoning.
No, actually, I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, Bess knows what I'm talking about.
I mean,
API's not paying half the property taxes. They're paying 40% of the property taxes. So how do I react? I think the people who complain about that are pretty legitimate in their complaint. I mean, when they came here, I knew you had to give them some breaks. But Ed and Bess wanted to give them the whole store. I mean, 40% of the property taxes? You got to be kidding me.
If we hadn't given API a guaranteed lower tax rate, they would not have set one foot into this town, and that's a fact.
So I'm in the position, I don't want to sound like I'm gloating. I'm kind of in a position to say I told you so, because I did tell them so.
I think that's a pretty damned ridiculous thing for Marty to say. In the past 3 years, his asphalt business has only worked on API homes. He's made more of a killing on API than this town has.
I talked to a lawyer at API, and he says he feels very bad about the layoffs.
Give me a break.
But he did not think it was fair that API is being attacked.
Attacked? That's not attacked. And you know goddamn well I had nothing to do with that. And now these two fucks and their wives are just cleaning.
Don't say that.
They bought up $150,000 in real estate in the town.
Look, I'm not sure what you're angry about. What's your point?
What do you think?
That's not an answer, Tom.
You gotta talk to Rich at the factory about
Hey, look,
these
would you
cuts.
shut up for a minute? Bess is being paid off by API.
Oh, Bess is not being paid off.
Yeah, who told you?
She's not on their payroll.
Well, I think you're in for a big surprise, man.
It's kind of a difficult situation. I'm going to calm things down. I think that's my job. You know, I think that's what needs to be done now. Somebody has to put things in perspective, you know, let people know that the sky's not falling. So, you know, at API today, I was telling a guy that I don't think these people have any idea what's going on. And somebody needs to explain that to them, you know, make them understand it. I think that's my job, and that's what I'm going to do.
They wanted him to be their next councilman. It just makes me very upset the way they're treating him. I mean, they would never treated us this way a few years ago. I mean, we were once a new family. And it's not so much the fact, the way they're acting, it's just that everybody's afraid and they're taking it out on everybody.
It's the Rosen's house up there. They found this deer all cut open on their front porch when they got up this morning. It could have been our house. I don't understand it. We're just trying to make a home here.
I understand their anger. I understand their rage. But these API people can't be blamed. I mean, I've been into their homes. I've seen the money that they make. It's can't be compared with the money that our boys make, or for that matter, what I make. I mean, they leave me no choice. The API people have done nothing to them, and I think they know that, and that only makes them angrier. I think that's him there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's him.
These guys are fighting something they just can't fight. You know, when it's the end of the world, they have to have someone to blame, right? Well, they just don't want to admit to who's coming into the town and who's leaving. That's what this is all about.
I'm going! Get the fuck away from me, goddammit!
Come on,
I didn't do a fucking thing! What the fuck will you hurt my hands?
Knock it off
I met with Joe today. We had a long talk. It was a very good talk, and he told me to tell all you guys that he's very sorry about what's happening.
All right,
All right, well, guys, I don't have to tell you what you already know. You know, the factory's in trouble. Joe had a $2 million line of credit, and it's gone. I mean, it's shot. It's like a joke, but I did not hear anything else about more layoffs.
Told me that there'd be layoffs next Friday. 3 different people.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. Now, if I hear anything else, I'm going to let you know to the best of my ability. But at the moment, the factory is secure. Now, I want you to remember that when we lost the airplane contract, everybody said we were dead. Am I right? I mean, everybody said the factory was going to be sold for scrap. So, I have no information that indicates there's going to be any more layoffs. So, Jerry, I don't want you to go home tonight with this thing hanging over your head. All right?
They're taking up every available space in this town. I just heard about Dexter's Field. What are we going to do about that, I'd like to know.
I already got down to the county zoning.
Marty, I don't give a shit about it.
What can I tell you? What do you want me to tell you, Tommy? I don't like it either, but they have not done anything illegal.
It sounds pretty fucking illegal to me.
All right, we'll file a grievance. Something else I have to talk about. Now, I know that none of you guys here are involved about it, and you probably hate it as much as I do, but these hits on these API homes have got to stop. I mean, we have 2 guys who were never in trouble before in their life, now they're sitting in jail. And why? because they were jackasses. They had nothing better to do than fuck up somebody else's property, and that's against the law. All right? Now, it's in the press. It's on camera. I mean, we're not getting any sympathy from the county on this, so basically it's not working. So if you guys know anybody who's involved, I mean, that's it. Now is the time for us to pull together and give each other hope instead of doing juvenile bullshit like breaking windows. I mean, come on. Now, I'm not naming names, but that's it. API is here and we have to live with them. All right?
How do they feel? The morale is terrible around here. These guys are sitting there wondering, am I going to be next? Is there going to be another layoff? And am I going to get caught in that? And you know what that does to a guy's morale. You know, there's a terrible sense of insecurity that's going on there. You know, some of the men are actually talking about striking, and they're not talking to me about it. And I'm their friend. I don't understand why they're not talking to me. I'm not one of these suits. You know, Mr. Gorman is the one that makes these decisions, not me. And whatever he says goes. And that's what's going to happen.
And Mr. Gorman hasn't told you anything?
Nope, he hasn't told me anything directly. But when a company is losing profits and it's not making any money, they've got to do something. And one of the things they do is shuffle people around. In the shuffle, some people get shuffled out the door. To see this happen to these people that have been my friends for all these years, it kills me. But I don't know what the other answer is.
Layoffs at the metal plant. I didn't hear about any layoffs at the metal plant.
Well, there might be laying off a few hundred more people tomorrow.
Well, I wish them luck.
But you'll have to do it from outside.
Are these men being laid off, sir?
Please, I'm asking you for the last time, would you leave?
Well, sorry, I didn't know.
I can't have this inside the shop.
I guess they're doing it.
Any idea how many?
What the fuck difference does it make? Means it's all gonna go anyway. They just got rid of Walter. The guy's been at the same project for 31 years. We're gonna be giving him a fucking medal. They're gonna hear about that.
As I look at this, if Joe Gorman feels that in order to remain competitive, that he has to reduce his workforce, then that's a business decision that has to be made, and I back that decision. However, if there are individuals that feel that this is detrimental to the community, then that's a selfish argument. That really isn't the case. The real case is, do you want your business in operation here, or do you want it shut down? And I think that's where we are right now.
Well, how do you feel about some of the past attacks made on API employees?
Well, we've pretty much put that behind us, and all of the people involved in it have been accounted for. And the main thing here is that the community realizes that API is not their problem. It has nothing to do with the problem that they have. And what you have is a situation where a company's products aren't selling as well as they have. It's bruised egos, but really more than that, it's bruised the ego of a town.
We'd like to call the meeting to order. Ed Stolzman's not here tonight. He's in Rochester. We've been in touch with him. He's being kept updated on everything that's going on. And at this point, I'm going to turn the mic over to Stuart Newell, who's going to read a statement to you.
First of all of us, all of us up here are very concerned about this situation. We should tell you, what's going on. I should anyway. I've been honored to be your choice as a replacement of one of the greatest men in this town, Bill Parsons. There was a plan, an agreement drawn up by the town council and Joe Gorman. Now, this plan, in fact, I have it here, this plan is a strategy to coordinate the step-by-step exploration of the Dadetown Gorman metal bending facility within the area.
What this is a plan to strengthen the benefit plans, strengthening the pension plans, and to provide severance pay for the discharged employee, okay? In the past 5 years, there's been 14 different countries, name it Taiwan, the Philippines, wherever, that have people working for $1 an hour to produce that product. So if we want this program, the Gorman factory has to close in a year.
And these layoffs are the first, and they're all according to the strategy here. And you're going to get extended pay. I need to hear your questions. I can't hear any one of you.
Stuart, whose plan is this?
This is Bill Parsons' plan.
This was done last September.
So the factory's going to close?
Yes, the factory will close in a year.
This plan, I just want to say that this plan still has to be voted on by the council. It's by no means gotten final approval. This is only a general guideline. And I, for one, will not vote for this contract.
I have not seen enough evidence that the factory cannot afford its workers.
Do we have a consensus here? Because they're going to hit us big time if we're not together. That's 5:30. What time? I don't know. What time does Gorman get there? I want to get there before Gorman gets there. What time are we talking about?
5:30.
All right, find out 5:30. Get their names, please.
I'm going to tell you something right now. This plan sounds to me like it's the one thing that's keeping Gorman from getting rid of you all right now.
We're all in over here.
Okay, we're in too. You have to announce it. You have to let everybody know.
We've got to lose this factory on our own terms, and we can do that.
Well, what about our conditions, huh?
We'll get so many guys who'll make signs and so many guys who'll get their wives to make lunch.
We'll make some coffee. Everybody's in, right?
Hot coffees for everybody.
How are you voting, Stuart?
Well, I think it's my job to go along with Bill's plan. I mean, Bill would have voted for us. I think it's up to me to go along with it. So I'm going to vote yes.
You guys don't want to listen to it. You guys don't care anything about us. We want representation.
Local program, we cannot handle that.
Oh, great, thank you.
We're barely making daily operating costs, so I can tell you right now, we can't fund that.
You can't fund that because you're an asshole.
plan a little bit closer.
Oh, you're back to the plan again.
This is not our...
We gotta know.
I want to start ramifications.
Is there a yes or no answer? Is there a yes or no answer? Can we keep our jobs?
There's no answer right now until we study this close.
Oh, well, fuck you very much.
This guy's stuff. All right, we can't just take this.
You want me to say something?
Yeah, we can't say something. All right.
Okay.
Camera.
You all hear me? Yeah. All right. Well, we have an idea here that would like to get your feeling on. We're talking about striking tomorrow morning at 5.
Look at this. Look what's going on over here. These guys are going to work, and they're screwing us. They're screwing their own people. It's like, I don't understand that. If they were out here with us, maybe we could get back to work. Maybe the factory would stay open. But these guys just do whatever the hell they want. I'm here to show solidarity to the people that I work with, and people that I used to work with, I should say. And maybe they'll hire some of us back. Maybe they'll retrain us. Maybe they'll do the right thing. After working for a company for so many years, maybe they can give you a couple of things. I don't know. I think it should work that way, and they promised it. I mean, it's not as if they didn't promise it. We just like what it is they signed to, and they're reneging on it. They're doing whatever the hell they want. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just got my pink slip. I don't know what I'm going to do. This was a living wage for me. This was a living wage for a lot of other guys, just like myself. And now, and now it's all over.
Go fight, bro. Come on now.
I'm just here to make a short statement. My name is Joseph Gorman. I'm head of operations here at the Gorman facility. And I think what we have here is an incident that's based on ignorance. We're here to downsize the company due to an expiration of contracts.
Get him out of here. Get them out of here. Come on, get him out of here.
We have to downsize because of an expiration of contracts. What I want to say is this, and people need to understand this. What we have to pay men to produce 10 tons of clips in a month, they can produce, for the same amount of money, 120 tons in countries like the Philippines and Thailand and Korea, Mexico. It's that simple. It's that simple. So we have to downsize in order to remain globally competitive.
So we put together last night. Okay, it's not official, but it's a start. These are our terms. We're all in agreement. Okay, so if anyone approaches you, this is how we feel about it. Okay, just remember that we all got to be together. Okay, because that's the key to this whole thing. Stick together.
We all left the meeting last night so jacked. Girls came over to the house, spent half the night making signs. I just don't know where everybody is. Kind of disappointing, you know. I mean, I don't know anybody who lives in town doesn't have a stake in this. I mean, my husband's worked here for 10 years, and he didn't even show up this morning.
I can't make these people do what they don't want to do. You know, they're only as strong as their word.
How do you think the whole strike is going?
It's going good. It's going good. We got some press today, so the demands will be in print tomorrow. And a couple of people, they can't stay, you know, they got to go to work. But everybody else here, we'll be out on the line first thing tomorrow morning. You could really say we got what we wanted. You know, it's definite. We got what we wanted.
Well, you know, we're going to try to comply to those demands to the best of our ability, but I can tell you that we don't have that kind of money. Nobody does. You know, maybe we can throw in some group therapy for those on the line out there. I don't know. Something will come of this. That's all I'm going to say. That's my statement. Thank you.
Mr. Gorman, did you feel that closing down the factory was the answer?
We'd have to close down this factory if people were going to work for nothing.
Do you have any sympathy for the strikers?
I don't like to see anyone lose their jobs.
Why are there gunmen up on that roof?
It's deer season.
I thought I could make a difference. I thought maybe if we showed these people that we really care, that what these jobs mean to us, that maybe somehow we could change their minds and their viewpoints. But
I figure most of them will be home by 3 o'clock. Many of them are out hunting now. As long as they're not harming anyone. As far as I'm concerned, they have every reason in the world to be angry.
You know what I'm saying, Tony. You're trying to put a kid through school, right? Are you getting any financial aid? No. Why? Because you're not a minority. Yeah, you just say you're a dumb worker. You're a dumb white worker. How come there's no special laws for us? Government grants. How come there's nobody looking out for us? Nobody speaking up for us, huh? Do you hear what I'm saying? Where are unions? They don't give a shit. Not about us. We get fired, they don't give a shit. You fire some black fuck in Rochester, the shit hits a fan.
You can't compare the two. You can't compare the two. We're in no position to
I'm in no position. I'm on the fucking street without an income. That's the position I'm in. Now, how do you think that happened, huh? Who's taking our jobs? It's the fucking Hispanics, the fucking Orientals, the fucking gooks. They don't...
Indians, Seneca Indians, roamed all over this country. They were self-contained. They had their own form of government, their own plumbing, their own trade. They even had their own daycare. They've been here forever. No one ever thought they'd leave. Then Dadetown. Indians are gone, south to reservations. And we're no better. We're absolutely no better. Making paper clips. No one thought anything would happen to Dadetown either. They've been here forever. Now, API. Factories are gone with the Indians. Someday, when future generations are combing this area, or digging in their yard, planting seeds, whatever, they're gonna find paper clips next to arrowheads. What goes around comes around.
You spend 15 years someplace, becomes a big part of your life. This morning and last night, I just couldn't see you just saying, oh, well, it's over. You know, I had to come out here and try to do something. Now, I've seen a list of demands. They're talking about welfare, about all this sort of... That's not what I came out here for. I want to be a worker in this factory. My wife, she just wanted me to go back and work this morning like everything was same as normal. And at this point, I think she was right. But I wouldn't have known that, so I've learned a little bit. So I'm satisfied, even if it did cost me my job. It's only a year from now. What's the difference? I don't know if my wife will feel that way about it, but that's my point of view.
Can you imagine yourself leaving Dadetown?
So if I'm gonna pour, I'm gonna do it someplace else.
Doctor, does the accident have anything to do with the protest earlier today at the Gorman plant?
Well, in actuality, it probably did. The gentleman that was involved in the situation had gone to the strike at the plant today, and he had taken along with him a rifle with shells in it. And came back, and what happened was that he was unloading his rifle, and the gun went off and struck the boy who was near the woods over there. And it's just purely an accidental situation.
Are you saying, though, that if there wasn't a protest,
it's not that there's any
this
excuse
wouldn't
for
happen?
ever carrying guns in a car. I mean, certainly loaded guns, it really certainly is not a good situation at all, ever.
Well, we were in the field playing tag, and there were these two kids,
Luke and Josh, they were over
playing like turtles or something.
In the field, and we heard this big.
We heard a truck pull up, and then this guy got out, and he pulled out a gun, and the safety wasn't on, which I thought was dumb to leave it like that. And then he picked it up, and it fired, and it hit Luca, and then Josh started crying.
He ran back up to the house,
and then the guy that shot him on accident came down and cried and said, "I'm sorry," and then I stayed a while, and then he went back to the truck, and then this pickup truck guy came by, and he saw what happened, and then he went to a payphone, I guess,
and
called the police
and
the ambulance, and the ambulance and police came and
they're
put
here,
Luke on the stretcher and put him in the ambulance and brought him back, and then I guess Luca's parents came.
It was scary.
Really scary.
Yeah. I feel bad for Luca.
Yeah, because he got killed.
It's the men. They're out of work, and they're just trying to make everyone else's life miserable. It's a strike. It seems pointless to me. I wish somebody could explain to me what is the point. Is the point that they're out there with guns shooting our children? If the Lord wants the plant to close, then I just think it should close.
Pete. Going out to dinner with Gorman tonight? He's the strike over, do you think? How's the job going? I'm yours,
Is Mayor in?
I'm sorry. I've been told he's not seen anyone today. I'll tell him you were here.
How do you feel about what happened yesterday?
I think it's a tragedy. It's kind of sad. I mean, nothing's really turning out the way everyone wants it to be. And, it's just sad, basically. People just keep going. Adversity builds character, right?
The way I see it, I guess I'm not ready to be a politician.
So I withdrew my name this morning, from the nomination.
Do you think they still want you to be their councilman?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think it matters. I'm not anybody special. They can get anybody to do this job and probably do a better job than I can. I was probably just the first person on the list.
Do you think it'd be a difference?
I don't think so. I'll make a difference in the store.
How's Josh?
He's fine. Thanks. He's good.
You want to talk about it at all? Or?
No, not really. Sorry.
Somewhere that responsibility is being placed more on the individual than it ever has been before. Not the family, not the company, not the community, but the individual. And I think this is what has happened here. It's tough. It's a hard thing to have to take on responsibility you've never had before. But as I look at all of this, the wonderful thing about it is that Dadetown is going to survive all of this. It's going to do well.
API is the future of Dadetown, without a doubt. I mean, a week doesn't go by if the council doesn't get another building permit, request for another building permit. It's great. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of state development bonds we're getting. They're practically throwing money at us. I mean, I never thought I'd live to see this kind of money thrown in the direction of Dadetown, so I think it's great. Our goal has always been to serve every citizen, and we're building homes for the API people who are my constituency also. I don't see this polarity between the two. I don't see any conflict. I'm proud of it. The future of Dadetown is, to me, unlimited. I mean, I don't think that there are any horizons. We're getting so much money thrown at us, and it's being put to such good use. I think we're going to grow. We're going to become a city, and I don't want people to take that in the wrong way. City has a bad connotation. I don't think it's going to be an overcrowded, violent, urban jungle, but it's going to be a 21st century city, a small city. I think the city is changing in America too, and I think Dade could serve as a prototype for the new modern American smaller city where people still have a sense of community and of tradition and a common background, and you still know your neighbor and you still have all of those things, but you have a growing, vital cultural and economic base, which is necessary. And what's happened in the factory is unfortunate, but often change comes at a price. But that's over. We turn the page and we look to the future, and the future looks good.
We opened almost 3 weeks ago. We sell designer sportswear for women, mostly American, French, and Italian designers. On our grand opening day, this old local came into the store, an old fellow, and he scrutinized everything. He looked at every piece of clothing in the store, and he finally came up to me and he said, "Are you the owner?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he told me that he had been laid off from the paperclip plant, and that his wife had always wanted to own a store just like this one. And, well, I told him, yeah, I'm new at this. Can I offer you a discount so you can buy something for your wife? And he said, even if I could afford anything in here, my wife would never talk to me again if she knew where I got it from. And I don't really think it was until that moment that I understood what happened here last month.
Too many people here to miss. There's, I don't know, it's nothing specific. I don't know. It's too difficult to think of anything specific that I'm gonna miss. You know, I'm just sad. That's all. Very sad. If I could only stay. I'll miss the coffee shop. The most. The most out of everything, I'll miss the coffee shop. Out of everything. Where somebody always said hello, and if you didn't have your money, they just served you the frickin' coffee anyway. That's what I'll miss the most. Free coffee. You get that very many places in America? No. That's what API people don't realize. They're always worried about whether they have a buck in their pocket. They don't know if they just sit down and become a local, that they can get a free cup of coffee when you don't have enough money in your pocket. That's what I'll miss the most, a free cup of coffee when you need it.
You know, the water bed and stuff, you can make them. You can buy it. Pretty good size. Even a water bed? Oh, water
What happened here is essentially the same thing that would happen in any other community. We're not immune from experiencing growing pains. It wouldn't make any difference if you were here, Armonk, Hadley Lake, Irving, or Canandaigua. Quite frankly, I think the big problem here was your cameras. They didn't help the situation out at all. Your cameras, the presence was all over the place. People felt as though they had to be actors, like they had to be part of this thing that wasn't really there. These people aren't like that. This is a nice community. This isn't no movie. This is a nice, quiet little place.
Tom, any comment what's happened since last month?
Moving finger writes and having writ moves on. Not all your piety nor wit may lure it back to cancel half a line, or all your tears wash out a word of it. That expresses, I think, pretty well what's happened here, not only our continuity, but our changes. What's done is done. Now, a town is a small group of people in a limited space with a common myth. Now, this myth could be as old as Moses or George Washington, as new as Neil Armstrong or George Armstrong Custer, for that matter. Now, it seems that everyone is either from a small town or longing for a small town, or in some cases trying to escape a small town. So I think the story of America starts and ends right here with our myth in the small town. At least, that's my opinion.
To accentuate the positive feeling, minus the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene.
What happened? What's going to happen? What actions will you take if these attacks persist?
We are actually looking into mercenaries. We think that if these things persist, that we're going to have to fight fire with fire. And if they're going to have random acts of vandalism, then we're going to have some people do some random acts to them.
To illustrate his last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark?
Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. No, do not mess with Mr. In-Between. Do you hear me?
Oh, listen to me, chillin', Anna. You will hear about the eliminating of the negative and an accent on a positive.
Gather round me, children, if you're willing, and sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You got to spread joy
up to the maximum,
bring gloom down to the minimum.
Then
Otherwise, pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene.
To illustrate,
well, illustrate
my last remark,
you got the floor. Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark.
What did they say?
What did they say?
Say when everything looks so dark. Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In-Between.
It's not a tourist
It's
trap.
not a tourist trap. It's a town that lets people do what they want to do. You know what they say? Long on pornography, short on patriotism.
Let's remember